Good day, beautiful people. The removal of the feminine. I've been feeling lately, that these holy wars that are going on across the world, the race wars that have been going on for a very long time, and these current wars that are going on between Black women and Black men, and just men and women in general. And also, just the fighting back and forth is a spiritual one. Okay, because the word says that we fight not against physical. We fight not against physical things, physical people, but against spiritualities, high powers, and high places. And we have to remember that. It's not just about what we see, with the naked eye. It's about something much greater. And with that being said, I've been thinking a lot about the feminine and how much the feminine has been removed, and how much religion has to do with that. And I'm going to do a separate video about all of the different scriptures that, led to the demonization and the different cults and sects that have been, created against women and keeping women in a subservient state. So if you are a Bible believer, it does say that the head will become the tail and the tail the head. And that is because the earth and the world's nature in general, it always is seeking for a balance. And whenever things are out of balance, you're going to have turmoil. It also says that male and female were created in their image, in our image. So a lot of people never think about who the our is. Who is the O-U-R? Who is that? It would have had to have been an example, a previous example of what was being created, a male and a female. All right, but we're so focused on the male. All right, so it seems like after the female was deceived, in the book of Genesis, Eve was deceived, that led to the fall of mankind, and the female or the feminine became blamed for pretty much the downfall of man after that. Overly made male dominant after that. It was supposed to be to a certain extent, but it wasn't always that way. And I always go back to the original intent. She was made subservient only after she did what she did. But at some point, they were on a level playing field. They were equals in the eyes of the Most Highs, or their creators. After that, like I said, it seems like the feminine was removed from scripture, and the female was basically demonized. And like I said, I'm going to go into more scriptures about that in a separate video. Yes, you have Mother Nature, you have Mother Earth, and you have the feminine fighting right now for her rightful place as an equal, not necessarily to dominate over a man, because we do need each other. We're both here for a reason, but just to find her equal footing and her equal place. And this is the age of Aquarius, and I'm going to read to you what the age of Aquarius is, depending on what you believe and how you think the years fall. Some believe that we're already in the age of Aquarius. All right, so they believe that it's associated with electricity, computers, flight, democracy, freedom, idealism, rebellion, non-conformity, all right, perseverance, and humanity. So with that being said, a lot of things are becoming, a little bit more relevant and visualized right now, because the age of Aquarius is also supposed to be the age of consciousness, of a mass and broad spiritual awakening of the people. But in contrary to that, before the age of Aquarius, you have the age of Pisces, like I said, which came before the age of Aquarius, was more of a religiously bound age. And it also says that it was the age of forgiveness, empathy, innocence, love, and devotion. And I can truly say that things are starting to turn a page from that right now, because forgiveness, people really aren't doing that. They're turning back to an eye for an eye. And, with the age of Pisces, there was also this idea of guilt and suffering, which became synonymous with spirituality. So if you were, feeling guilty or suffering, they feel that or felt that you were being more spiritual. So I just wanted to show you that contrast about where we were and where we're going, and how that relates to, you know, the feminine rising again. And it's countless and countless women coming out and speaking about the spiritual power that we used to have, and the fact that we have been dominated and put in this subservient nature, and, you know, depressed and suppressed, you know, way overboard from what I think the original intent was. And I'm not saying that the Bible is wrong. I'm just saying that we should open up our eyes and start reading things, you know, not for just face value, but digging a little bit deeper. And just like I said, holy wars and the race wars, and now the war that's going on between the male and the feminine. And throughout all of these different wars, you know, there's one that is suppressed and depressed, and then you have one that always wants to dominate. And so that's the point that I'm trying to make. Anytime you have something that has been dominated and abused and taken control of for a very long time, eventually the balances and the scales are going to turn, okay? And you're going to have that one thing that was suppressed fighting for its place. And that's what's happening right now with the feminine. All right. So that was just my take a little bit on, you know, the fact that the feminine and the female has been removed. Like it's very, very blatant now, you know, more and more it's more blatant that it has been purposely removed and dominated over for whatever reason. But that is starting to change with this new age that we're coming in, with the spiritual awakening that we're coming in. You have more women speaking up. You have more women being leaders. And I do understand that the earth, the world that we live in, the world that's been created for us, is still a very patriarchal world. However, I do see that that is beginning to change. That's just the way it is. Things change in the world, and the earth goes on a pendulum. You know, it swings back and forth and back and forth. And maybe at one time you did have the feminine ruling and dominating. And then at some point, the masculine took over, or the patriarchy took over. And now we're swinging back into the feminine, you know, regaining her place. All right. So I want to thank you all for watching. You be blessed. Please leave me your thoughts, comments, and your concerns, and be blessed.